understanding this alpha and omega, okay, this star power or cold fusion or nuclear fusion. All right, if this is how the God particle or the universe and everything, plasma and all this exists, all right, you have a strong force and a weak force. And you'll have your gravity and your electromagnetism, okay, happen. All right, you got your four fundamental forces. Whenever this explodes, these fundamental forces are going to be released, okay? You'll have a strong force that's released, a weak force that's released, and gravity that will be released, and the dark energy, all right? Whenever it sheds this 2G gravity, okay, that's the gravitons that have grown while it was growing from a micro to macro, okay? And that gravity has grown. Once it reaches fundamental gravity, it sheds everything and leaves the fundamental gravity, okay? When it sheds and explodes, all of that dark energy is all of the weight of that extra gravity, okay? It's flying outward. That's the dark energy. All of the weight of it, all of the gravity of it extra, besides the fundamental gravity, everything above fundamental gravity was shed in dark energy, okay? And that strong force was literally spread out no different, okay? And that's black holes, okay? That nuclear force is black holes, all right? And the weak force is dark matter, okay? That's why all of our electronic equipment is blind to dark matter, okay? So you have the nuclear force that's spread out and this electromagnetic force, or the electromagnetic, the gravity, and the electric, or the weak force, the ethereal electronegative, okay, the lepton energy, the negative energy, nuclear, lepton. So all of that's shed out, all right? Now all of this electronic lepton energy is all literally electronic. It's all negative. It's negative energy. It's like it's the covalent bond. It's the ethereal covalence, all right? It's dark matter, okay? It's all over the universe, all right? That's basically what formed around this. Everything that's out there in the universe, okay? This is where quantum entanglement comes into place. Because if you have this all over the universe, okay, and you measure one right here, you're going to have one way out here, okay, doing the same thing. Why? Because literally electrostatic is all over the universe, just like you'd see static on a screen. You'll see one little dot here, one little dot over here. They're quantumly entangled with this screen, okay? That's how quantum entanglement works. But you have to understand that lepton and space and all of that stuff in quarks existed prior to the God particle. So all of this dark matter, all this negative or all this electronic energy, that's why we can't see it, because it's blind. We're blinded to it, you know. And why are we blinded? Why is it completely invisible to all of our electronic equipment? Because it's electronic. It's electronegative. It's electric. It's negative. It's electrons. All of our electric stuff is trying to measure it, but we can't see it because it's the same thing, you know. We have to use something different. That's alpha. We have to use alpha to see this, okay? We have to use alpha beams to be able to see dark matter, all right? That's literally what we're going to have to use, all right? Now, this is nuclear, okay? We know that light cannot penetrate the nucleus. We have to use electron microscopes to see that far, okay? Light particles, when they come in, they're too big. They cannot go there. This is black hole energy that was released all throughout the universe. All the black holes is basically just pure strong force. All right? The way we're going to have to be able to see this is using an electron telescope, okay? We're going to have to shine electron telescopes toward black holes to be able to even get any kind of measurements and readings from them, to get any kind of extra knowledge that we know, because we don't know what they are, okay? If we shoot electrons toward it, it might pull the electrons in, but we'll at least get a picture of, we'll know what's happening when it does this, okay? We can't use light, obviously, because light can't penetrate a nucleus. Therefore, it's not going to be able to penetrate a strong force or a black hole. So this is why light does not go, that's why it doesn't go past the black hole. That's why a black hole gets it and grabs it, because there's no medium here. It's trying to travel here and there's no medium, okay? It cannot go that small, okay? It's basically, it gets sidetracked. It's almost like it gets halted dead in its tracks, because it can't go any further. So say light is traveling, doesn't come out the other side. Light's going over here and gets pulled towards that, because it's nothing but strong force. It's trying to keep the electrons, electromagnetic energy, that's what light is electromagnetic energy. It's trying to orbit that. It's trying to create a covalence with it, you know. So that's why it'll pull towards it, but it won't go any further. It stops right there, dead in its tracks. That means we're going to have to literally use electron telescopes to see this, and we're going to have to use alpha telescopes to see this, okay? This dark matter, and this, which is weak force. All the dark matter in the universe is basically all weak force, okay? And all of the black holes are strong force, okay? This is alpha and omega. Once we understand the physics of the universe like this, on this micro fundamental level, this will make us gods. We will understand everything that we see in movies, okay? And I'm saying that like, okay, say you want to put somebody in suspended animation, okay? If we understand the nuclear and the ethereal negative, or the mitochondrial and the nuclear, more than we understand just reading DNA now. We understand these cells and this force on this micro level, which is our cells, and this macro level, which is space, then we will understand how to freeze someone, all of their cells, without causing cell damage. See what I'm saying? We will actually understand cosmology to a point where we will understand how to create our own exotic energy. And we will actually know how to traverse through space in a fundamental relative amount of time. See what I'm saying? But we have to understand the powers like of the Ark of the Covenant, Alpha and Omega, plasma. Okay, we're on the cusp of that now. But the tokamak, they said there for a while they were saying, oh, 2024, 2025. So then I put out some more videos of how to get it to run. Of course, it's not a good thing if you know that that's what's going to end up destroying everything. But hey, you know, it is what it is. You know, I hate to do it, but I don't want to seem crazy, but I mean, it seems possible. But anyway, they now are saying this year we might have it going, okay? But it seems to me like somebody's watching these that has connections and is like, that's a good idea. But they got connections and money. Maybe even somebody from China is watching my videos. I don't know, you know. But it is kind of scary considering this, you know. That part just kind of scares me. But once we understand this nuclear energy, and we understand electrons, electronegative and negativity and all that. We understand it pretty well. Tesla definitely did. Because you know Tesla's going to look up the electronegativity of elements. And that's what led me to this point of understanding the P-type and N-type. And lithium, carbon, and fluorine being 369. Well, that was the first thing that I thought of, and then I started looking into it, started finding out the thermoelectric generators, P-type and N-type material, superconductors, the Ark of the Covenant, plasma, the pyramids, 666, 369, the God particle, the universe, everything all started making sense. It all started coming together. Everything led to the other thing. Okay, I kept finding links that put all this stuff into perspective. So once we understand this Alpha and Omega, we will be basically like gods. I mean, we'll understand the stuff in the movies that we've wanted to understand, you know. We'll start looking into that, but that knowledge, we're going to get too big for our own boots, and we're going to end up killing ourselves. I mean, straight up. I understand that, you know, we are intelligent and all that, but we still got a lot to grow. And I think that's why Prometheus was punished for giving us fire, because we didn't need that kind of energy, okay? Of course, it probably wasn't fire. It was probably like nuclear energy or something. It was probably a nuclear bomb, you know, back then, you know, but we think it's all myths and gods, but it was probably just the same kind of advanced civilization we got, you know? But it just turns into myths and legends. Like Zeus was probably the first guy that gave them electricity like Tesla did us. But we consider him all gods and all this, but back then he was just one of their guys that was pretty smart in science and everything, like Tesla is to us, you know? History just repeating itself, you know? But still, Prometheus gave these people something that they didn't need to have right then. You know, maybe they used it and all that, but it's probably too much for them at that time. They didn't mature it enough yet, just like we didn't for the nuclear bomb and all that. I mean, look how much irresponsible we are with a lot of our weapons, you know. And all of this coincides with Zeus's lightning bolt. And that's where I put Zeus's lightning bolt into this gun, basically, okay? You have a plasma arc here. Just like the Ark of the Covenant, you've got plasma being formed at this cathode and anode. Nuclear energy, nuclear plasma, all right? You have these carbon capacitors, okay? But you have another capacitor, a superconductor, that's creating plasma energy that's charging these capacitors, okay? You have a coil here. You discharge these capacitors down that coil, carrying that plasma in a toroid shape. Okay, this is completely possible. This is exactly the plasma gun. This is a fictitious, if you look it up, you'll see it's some kind of fictitious thing. But this right here, this concept is completely real. And who couldn't think this up? If I could, I'm sure any scientist could. But they think it's all fake. They think it's all just myths and legends. But if they look into it, okay, I'll put this into perspective, all right? A goose that laid the golden egg. Think it sounds weird, right? Once I tell you this, it'll sound like it makes sense. Eerily. A duck or a goose, whatever, is the most versatile genetic animal on this planet, basically. Okay? It's a master of 3 elements. Earth, air, and water. And that's a goose. That means it has very diverse DNA. All right? If you alter a gene in that body, in the body when it's creating the calcium in the eggs, if you create or alter a gene that it creates a gold byproduct or some kind of metal byproduct that the system basically metabolizes it into gold, into that calcium carbonate, then you will literally have a goose that lays golden eggs. We do this with sheep, with spider silk. We make chimera. You know, we alter a gene in it with the spider that basically whenever you milk the sheep, it has spider silk in it, you know? So if we could do this now, how can someone back in the past that had the same kind of technology that we did alter genes and genetics and do weird experiments and make chimera, and who's to say they couldn't alter the right gene with the right material or whatever they're using to actually create a goose that lays a golden egg? Sounds completely possible. Sounds completely possible. Just like all of these ancient myths of these creatures and stuff, you know. How do we know that there wasn't different laws back then than there are now? We have, ethic and religious laws that keep us from doing certain genetic experiments, all right? But they probably didn't have them. You know, they could probably do whatever they want. They probably thought, hey, we're going to start cloning people. They could probably clone people and there wasn't no, a law against it. They could probably create a bull-human hybrid, you know. They probably knew all of the genetic code. And if you know the genetic code, if you want to create an animal, all you basically got to do is cut out one section, put another section in there, find out what that's going to alter, then compensate the other section of the genetic material with whatever compensation you need to compensate it with, you know. Literally, the concept of genetic modification is not hard at all. It's just like taking a computer code and it's just like cracking a game. Just like cracking a game, a PC game. Something like that. Nothing different. But literally, there's nothing impossible about this. And once we understand this kind of energy, and we understand this, science finally catches up with all this stuff that I'm saying, or somebody sees my video and at least is like Michio Kaku. Hey, Michio Kaku, I hope you see this video because I guarantee that you could actually get some of this stuff out there. Guarantee it.